Hi, Democrats. Today is Monday, March 21st, and it's time for the Chair's Daily Life. Happy Monday. All right, follow me because I'm trying to cover a lot in a little bit of time today. So it is still the acknowledgement of Women's History Month, and I'm probably the only one who calls it that, but I want to make sure that we're acknowledging women's history because women's history happens every day, and this is about the acknowledgement of. But today is actually the International Day for the Elimination of Racial Discrimination as set by the United Nations. They picked March 21st as the date because that marks the date in March 21st, 1960, in South Africa. 69 people who were protesting unjust laws of apartheid in South Africa were gunned down by the police. 69 were expressing their dissatisfaction with the law, and they were gunned down by the police. And this is why I've been saying increasingly it's important that we vote and demonstrate. Because without the demonstration, without the voting, the demonstration keeps happening. We have to demonstrate and change the law by voting. And that's how you get rid of apartheid, that plus sanctions and plus all the other things. But voting is involved. We have to vote. We have to demonstrate. And so peaceful protests are just one form of direct democracy. And that's the part I'm telling about. The people have a right, we're guaranteed that right, to express what we think, what we want to happen. And we have our rights are not. So even though it's in the Constitution, we have to be careful. We have to stay ever vigilant so that it doesn't get eroded, because our rights are trying to be eroded every day by the Republicans who like being in charge and like their voices being the only voices. And hi, Wayne. Hi, Cherie. I'm sure you're watching on one of the channels, Mary. Hi, Mary. Glad you guys are here. And so peaceful protests are under attack in our state. In last legislative session, the governor signed over a bill that says it's okay to run over protesters if you're afraid. That's a way of trying to squash the voices of the voters. They don't want to hear what they don't want to hear. And to that end, initiative petitions, which is a way where if we can't get a legislator to bring the bill forth, or if they bring the bill forth and we can't get it heard, we as voters get to put together a petition, get the requisite signature, get it on the ballot so we can decide. That's what the initiative petition process is. Our current state legislature, they are trying to make it more difficult to have legal initiative petitions. They are going out of their way to, again, squash the voices of we as voters. Now, they are taking absolute direct steps to silence our voices. What we need to do, or maybe what we need to not do, is make it easy for them by not voting. That's us squashing our voices when we don't vote. And I'm willing this around to one of my favorite topics. I need you out there registering voters. We need as many people to be voicing their opinion through their vote as possible, because what's happening right now is our legislature is concerned. Hi, Kara, is concerned with only a small portion of the electorate. They are not taking everyone into consideration. And here's an example. Senator Kerry Hicks had an interim study where the results found that last year, when Governor Stitt, I hate saying those words together, but it's the fact, when Governor Stitt decided to end relief checks, he just kind of decided because it sounded cool. And, that side kept saying just staying home because they're making too much money and we got to get them back in the workforce and we're going to, you know what? I'm going to make it better. I'm going to, um, some people say bribe, I say coerce, or maybe even threaten into coming back. So they're like, go back to work. So 50,000 people applied. Oh, and they said, instead of giving the checks up front, if you can prove to us that you didn't have a job and then you got a job, we're going to give you the check. It's an incentive for you to get back to work. It's just so annoying, and I won't get into it. You guys know why it's annoying. Well, 50,000 people applied for the, okay, I went back to work money, and 8,000 were approved. That is, I don't know what the math, but it's crazy. 50,000 applied, 8,000 were approved. It's somewhere around between 80 and 90% were told no. Hey, Remy, 80% of the folks who, you know, became gainfully employed were told, yeah, but we don't like how you're employed, so it doesn't count. Because it fit his narrative. And he thought that it was he being the governor, the current governor, thought that it was going to somehow drive the employment rate through the roof. But he didn't ask anybody. He didn't say, hey, why aren't you working? He just made an assumption that people weren't working because they were lazy. When the reality is, and you guys know the folks, the reality is daycare shut down because they were having a hard time keeping daycares COVID free. Down. So folks weren't sure if they could, that they had reliable daycare. And a lot of companies cut back on hours, and folks were like, well, do I work part-time? Do I take on 2 jobs? Thank you, Karen Gaddis. 18% were approved. 18% were approved out of the 50,000 folks. That's some dismal numbers. It's shameful. And again, it was shaming people for not going to work who a lot had really legitimate reasons. I don't want to take my kid to a daycare that doesn't exist anymore. I don't want to take my kid to a daycare that may or may not be safe. I have reduced health normally, and I'm able to keep up with it until COVID happened. And I don't know if I need to be in an office with a whole bunch of people and risking my immune system. A lot of people stayed home for that. They were able to work at home. Then when they're back, or frontline workers, you can't sell groceries from your couch. You have to be at the grocery store. You have to be, at Walmart. You have to be, if you're a frontline worker, you have to be at the place. You can't be at home. And so shaming those folks who wanted to pay their bills just like everybody else, and dangling a check that you are then going to tell 82% of them nope to, is shameful, unconscionable, and proof that we need a new governor. We need a new governor, guys. Currently, we have 2 Democrats who are running against our current governor. We have Joy Hoffmeister, who is our current superintendent of public instruction, and we have Connie Johnson, who is a former senator here in our great state. We have candidates to replace this person who only cares about a portion of our state. I know the 2 women who are running as Democrats. I can say that they care about our state. So I'm going to ask you to please do one of 2 things, or do both. 1, pick one and help them. Help her by donating your time, by spreading the word about their campaign, by donating your money, making sure people know that those candidates are out there, and don't wait until the primary. They need your help now. Secondly, go register some voters. They can't win unless we register more voters. We need more folks who will vote for the Democrat. And that's how we change what's happening in our state, is that we bring more balance to our legislature. We bring more balance to the leadership of our state. We bring someone who's going to be enough people in the room to question the unconstitutional laws that they're trying to pass, question the heartless bills and laws they're trying to pass, and to question some of the policies that are coming out of our state legislature and out of the governor's office. There needs to be enough people in the room, because there are people in the room. I don't want to minimize the work our elected Democrats, because they are there, they're working, they're trying. It's just not enough. There are enough people in the room holding elected officials accountable, holding the other side, who they can just say whatever silly thing they want to say because they know that there aren't enough of us to fight it. Oh my gosh. So I'm going to say that. I was going to talk about some more things, but I want you guys to stay focused on, on what the two assignments I gave you. One, pick a gubernatorial candidate and support her now. Support her now. Pick your candidate, share their social media, ask them if you can help them door knock, ask them if you can spread their literature, ask them how much of your money they need to help them do what they need to do, because they do need money. The other side has a war chest. And then secondly, register some new Democrats so that we have enough folks to elect them and get them into office. Those are your two assignments for today. I hope you get them. Have a great day. Thanks for joining me, and I'll be back here tomorrow at 4:15.